I'm Craig, welcome to YourTech. Today we have a full PC setup for a customer that I'm going to be sorting out, testing and building today. I'm really looking forward to this. They got in contact with me and asked for a full setup. They gave me their budget. We went back and forth quite a lot on what components and what they were expecting out of the PC, and I do believe that they have got the best bang for the buck for their budget in this setup. So we'll go through all the parts, get it built, get it tested, and hopefully it'll be pucker. Quickly go through the parts list. If it looks like some of the boxes are open, it's because I forgot to do this before I built the computer. The computer's built in down there. We have a B450M Pro 4 motherboard from ASRock. Got plenty of PCI slots. It's got an M.2 slot. It takes a processor, and it was a really good price for what it is. We have the Ryzen 4500, 6-core, 12-thread, AM4 CPU. Good boost clock. Doesn't run particularly hot, so the stock cooler's fine. We've got a 1TB M.2 SSD, NVMe SSD from Fanjiang. Not the greatest manufacturer as far as I know, but I've used these in the past, and I've got one in my own personal rig and it's been absolutely solid. Got an RPG Rampage 600 watt power supply. It's not the best power supply in the world. For something that's drawing this low watts, it'll be absolutely fine. 80 plus bronze, 600 watts. You've even got a little bit of headroom for upgrades there. And the star of the show, we have the RX 6600 8GB. This is the ASRock Challenger version. I've done builds and benchmarks with this card before. Brilliant little 1080p card, can't get enough of it. It's, for the money, absolutely banging. And then we have 16GB of 3200 mega transfers per second DDR4 RAM. That hasn't come with a box or anything, it's just bog standard RAM. And that's all going in the Vida Zephyr case. Comes with 4 ARGB fans. It's an M80X case, so it's nice and compact. You've got a mesh front for plenty of airflow. We've also got some peripherals with this, as the customer wanted the whole setup. So they wanted everything: computer, keyboard, mouse, monitor, desk pad, the lot. So for the headset, we've got the Asus TUF H1, well reviewed, the money's right for it, and it's even got PlayStation 5 support if anyone cares about that. That is a 3.5 audio jack headset. We have a desk pad here from Xmas. Now the little lad this is for is very big on RGB, so I've just got him an RGB mouse pad. It'll just plug the USB into his computer, it'll get lights and he'll be pretty much happy. For the mouse, we have got the Death Adder Essentials. I've spoken about this mouse recently in a £1,000 full setup video. For £20 you cannot lose with this. I actually got this on a Black Friday sale for, I think it was $14.99, so it's an even better value for money. And the last thing is the monitor. Now this is an Asus 1080p monitor. It's 100Hz IPS panel, a perfect pairing for the graphics card. The lad is very interested in playing things like Fortnite. You will probably notice that we are missing a component. We are missing the keyboard. It has not arrived yet. It should be here today or tomorrow. The keyboard has arrived. Gone for the AWDIT Nebula RGB mechanical gaming keyboard. Looks really good. Ottoman red switches, RGB, which the customer cares about. Looks really nice. Braided cable, full sized. I'm not going to open it. I'm going to keep all the peripherals sealed so that the customer can open them. So it's a little bit more special for them then, isn't it? And if there's any issues, they can just bring them back to me and I'll just get them swapped out. First thing I'm going to do is go through what we're going to use to build a gaming PC. First thing, knife. Purely just to open packaging. This is just a bog standard Stanley knife. Easily sharp enough, not a problem. Some kind of small screwdriver. I'm using the iFixit kit. It's not sponsored or anything, as much as I'd love it to be. I'm just a big fan of iFixit. This kit's awesome. Electric screwdriver, not a necessity by any means. It just saves time with the motherboard screws and fan screws. So, cable ties. There should just about be enough cable ties in here for the PC that I'm going to build. I do go a little bit mad with cable ties. Purely for cable management, make sure everything looks nice and neat at the back and the front. Side cutters so that you can snip off the excess from the cable ties. A tube of thermal paste. This is the NTH2 from Noctua. Brilliant thermal paste. Usually I wouldn't really bother taking off the stock thermal paste from a cooler, but this is going to be a young lad's first gaming PC setup. I'd rather replace it with some proper high quality stuff so that he hasn't got to change it out as often and he doesn't have any issues and gets lower temps. Velcro zip ties, one of my favourite accessories with everything that I'm doing. Now, I don't use these in PCs very much, which I've said in previous videos, but if we do get a really big bundle of cables and I can get one of these round them and make it look nice, I will do. And lastly, controversial choice, pliers. The only reason that I have these to hand is in case a screw gets stuck in a motherboard standoff. I've got to take the motherboard off, I unscrew the screw and it gets wedged in the standoff, which it does sometimes does. I can use these to hold the standoff and just unscrew. So that's the only reason. It's not for anything else. I probably won't end up needing them, but just in case. That's everything we need to build a PC. For the sake of being fair, you can build an entire PC with a decent screwdriver, zip ties, and side coils. That's it. Almost every cooler comes with some kind of thermal paste, so you don't really need that, and everything else is just a nice to have. Let's get the motherboard sorted and let's get everything installed on the motherboard. Time to have a look at the case. There's the case. This is an M80X case. You cannot fit an 80X motherboard in this. We've got 3 USBs at the top, 2 2.0, 1 3.0 it looks like. We've got a reset button, could also be an RGB button, I'm not really sure. Headphone, microphone, separate jacks. 4 120mm fans that are RGB, 3 in the front, 1 in the back. Great for airflow. Front looks very stylish, I quite like that. Got a little tab to open the tempered glass side panel. Just going to take that off, then we will unscrew the back and have a look. Look at the back, everything you'd really expect. Looks like the fans are SATA powered, and the switch on top is an RGB controller, and I know that because we've got the reset switch plugged into the RGB header for the fans there. Fantastic, decent looking case. Even got mounting screws for an AIO. Don't remember seeing that in a case before, but that's awesome. Oh, these are infinity mirror. For some reason that one doesn't have heel on it. Infinity mirror RGB lights, that's awesome. Make sure your fan's facing down to pull air through. Power supply in. I always try and run my cables before. Can't always do it, but it's definitely worth it if you can. 8-pin up top. So we've got the 8-pin at the top, 24-pin, PCIe, and then we've got all the Molex and SATA at the bottom. Got to make sure we've got the right standoffs for the motherboard. So we need to put 2 more standoffs in. For some reason, this extra standoffs you get are a different colour. The extra 2 that you get, 3 that you get, 3 that you get are black. The rest, for some reason, are gold. See, that's what matters. Don't forget IO shield. Very important. Do not want to forget your IO shield. Lock off. There we go. And then in with the motherboard. There we go. Plug some of our connectors in. Ta-da! Now, there's one thing that I've noticed in this case. There isn't a massive amount of room at the back between, like, well, where you put the cables. There's not a lot of room there at all. It should be absolutely fine. Most terrible connector first. USB 3. I'd love to know whose idea it was for this cable in this giant housing. Panel connectors. I'm gonna have to lie the PC back down to do this one. Panel completed, mate. HD audio, I'm guessing. Yep. Good thing about little M80X cases like this, running the cables is a breeze. HD audio is in, and we have a singular USB to plug in. We've got PCI cable, USB 3, 24-pin, 8-pin CPU, HD audio, USB, front panel connectors. We don't have any SATA devices other than the fans that are SATA powered, so we don't need to run any SATA cables or anything like that. So the only thing really left to do is to manage all the cables, plug the SATA in, and plug the RGB header in. There we go. Right. I had to go make a cup of tea to be able to do that cable management, but it's done. The only thing we've got left to do now is the GPU. Give you a quick look. The cable management. And now we can slot in our RX 6600. This is going to be a wicked little 1080p gaming machine. And I cannot wait. Oh, actually, we have got one other thing to do as well. They wanted Wi-Fi, so it'd probably make more sense for us to put the Wi-Fi card in first. That's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I've never heard them words out loud before. Oh, awesome. Usually these have some USB cable that comes off it, but this one doesn't. Yep, that's it. Nice and easy. Slide graphics card into its new home. I'm going to use my own supply of these little screws rather than use the silver ones that come with it, just because I want it all to match. And there we have it. What do we reckon? Will it boot first time? That is the question. We'll find out in a minute. I'm going to get everything set up and ready so that we can use the system and make sure it's all good to go. Right then, moment of truth. Let's see if the PC boots. Well, we've got lights, we've got spinning fans. That's a very, very good sign. Asking for a boot device. Let's get Windows installed and I'll be back in a minute. And there we have it. PC's up and running, it's running Heaven Benchmark, and it's doing really, really well. It's a great 1080p system. I think the customer's going to be really happy. It looks cool. The little lad that this was for, very much into RGB and things, so these Infinity Light Loop Vida fans are awesome. The only downside really is that the fans are fixed RPM. There's no way to control them. They're quite quiet, they look cool. You can change the RGB, there's loads of different options, and it's even connected to the motherboard. If the customer wants to, they can control the RGB on it, which is ace. So yeah, I'm very happy. The rest of the peripherals, I'm not going to open. The monitor, mouse, headset, keyboard, I'm going to leave for the customer to open. They're brand new, they've not been built by me, and I think it'll be nice for them to open their own things. All I've done really is purchase them for them and give them recommendations on what they should get. So that's everything. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. It helps us out no end. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, give us a thumbs down. We've got loads of videos coming up. I'm gonna try my best to keep with the routine of uploading every single Sunday without fail. It is difficult when you're working 3 jobs, but I'm doing my best. Thoroughly enjoyed building this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I shall see you on the next one. Bye.